AITA for refusing that my sick mother-in-law to move in my house. I am a mother of 4 children aging from 10 to 16 and I work in marketing. Our house is pretty decent in size, each 2 of the 4 kids share a room, then my husband and I bedroom. So in total we have 3 sleeping rooms and no extras for sleeping. My husband's mother been sick for quite a while and she needs to be taken care of 24/7. That's why my husband got her a personal nurse and caretaker. Recently my husband been tired of paying the nurse and his mother's rent too. He suggested she moves in with us so he wouldn't pay her rent and only pay for the nurse. As I said, our house is already packed with the 6 of us, so bringing his mother and the nurse would be 8. Our house can't handle that and we do not have enough rooms. Also his mother cannot sit down, she always has to lie in bed and we don't have any possible extra bed or space to put a new bed in. Husband suggested that she stays in my youngest kid's room that only has 2 beds, so my kids, 10 and 12, to sleep on one bed while his mother takes the other one, and I straight up refused and told him I won't disturb my kids' comfort like that and we still won't have a place for the nurse. He told me I stay at home and quit my job so he can cut off the nurse and I take care of his mother. I told him how about he takes care of his mother and quit to stay at home, and he said no. She hasn't moved in yet, I won't allow it, the house already feels small for us 6. Also I have 3 more brother-in-laws, one of them lives alone and isn't married, so my husband is not her only child, yet he is the one who paid for the nurse and the rent alone. I asked him to tell his brothers to help, he refused. His pride didn't allow him to ask them for help, but he was completely fine with asking me to quit my job so he wouldn't pay for a nurse and to ask me to pack the house more because he can't pay her rent. This been going on for so long and he called me heartless for refusing her to move in. I told him she can move in if we get ourselves a bigger house. Then he proceeded to call me ungrateful for what I have. I don't have a problem with her personally, but I don't want to suffocate at home and don't want to shove in 2 of my kids in one bed, neither do I want to quit my job. Comment. It's time to put your foot down. I'm sorry, but if he is refusing money from the family out of pride, he's putting your children second and that's not okay. He has a choice. Children he created above mom, or you need to consider other living arrangements. Positive note. He will have room for mom and the nurse. Does he understand he has to pay child support? And you will get half the equity in the house. He can either buy you out or the house gets sold and the proceeds split. His mother should at least get Social Security survivors benefits. What about the house where Mill and Phil lived? Is the option of kicking him out of the house so you and the kids do not have to leave during the school year an option? Keeping it after the divorce regardless if you want to live in it or rent it out later available. Without knowing the country or laws I can't say, but do not lose out on anything because it is all a benefit for the kids and you regardless what he might say or the scare tactics he'll use. Tell him it's about time his siblings pull their weight. They could put up mother and come to some arrangement over nursing fees. Having you without an income, being an unpaid nurse while bringing up a bunch of teenagers is ridiculous. I'm Chinese and my dad used to pull this exact same shit on me and my mother. He's also the 2nd child in the family. When my grandpa was sick, my dad volunteered to pay for all the medicals while he has 4 other siblings. He almost agreed to raise his nephew, as in taking him in our house to live with us and becoming the parent for him, because I'm the only child and a girl, so my grandma thinks no one can carry the family name. There are possibly 100 million people with my exact same last name in China. My mother calls it foolish filial piety and almost divorced him for this nonsense. I despise my evil, patriarchic paternal side of the family and I have no contact with them. Next story 2. AITA for refusing to turn up the dryer despite my landlord's repeated requests. So some context. I live in a short-term rental situation as I was relocated for work to support a specific location. I rented a nice garage in LA that has been repurposed as an ADU, accessory dwelling unit, for 3 months. I was interested in this rental because it is in a really nice area, close to the beach, and the owners had very positive reviews. But since it is an ADU, I am basically living in their garage, which is detached from their main house and separated by about 75 feet. When it comes to work I am very busy. I usually work from 7 to 5 and then go to the gym afterwards. On a usual day I don't get home until around 8 p.m., which is when I have to do all my other normal human activities like making lunches/dinner, do laundry, etc. Well, it turns out my landlord absolutely cannot sleep with my dryer on, which I usually have running from about 9 to 10 p.m. He is an older man, about 60 years old and retired, and usually goes to bed early. But on the first day that I did laundry he walked back to the garage around 9:15 and knocked on the door. When I open it he's in his underwear telling me to turn off the dryer. I calmly explained to him that I didn't get home until late and my clothes are wet and the dryer should be finished around 10 p.m. To this he grunts and walks away. He then came back at 9:50 and tells me to turn it off again, to which I reiterate that it will be done in 10 minutes. This has happened each time I've done laundry on a weekday, and he escalated it to saying that the neighbors have been calling him non-stop about the dryer noise. If I was being a nuisance to the neighborhood I could understand his frustration, so I went and knocked on the neighbor's door, introduced myself, and asked if the dryer noise from the garage was bothering them. To which they said they had never called my landlord or even knew that someone was living in the garage. So I figured he lied about the neighbors to try to get me to turn off the dryer, so I continued to run it at my normal time. Things came to a head yesterday when he came back and yelled at me at the top of his lungs to turn off the dryer. I told him that he is being paid good money for me to live here, and if he cannot handle the noise of his garage being lived in, then he shouldn't rent it out. I need clean clothes for work, and in my mind doing laundry at night is a pretty normal thing to do. Not to mention I sleep in the same room as the laundry machines when for him it's far away. I'm not sure I feel like could be solved if he invested in some noise-canceling headphones. Also, it's not like I do laundry every day. Since this living situation is temporary, I didn't bring my whole closet, so I'd say I do about 2 loads each week, one of which is on a weekday. So what do you guys think, AITA? Comment. I'm curious, what is wrong with your dryer that a landlord can hear it running 75 feet away? I can't even hear my dryer running 2 rooms away in my own house, much less could I hear it in the garage. Boomers gonna boom. They want your money, then are surprised that you are a normal person doing normal things. As long as the dryer is off by 10 p.m. you're fine. Him showing up in his underpants, however, is bad, and harassing his tenant, you, is bad, so grab your contract and order a breach notice and just thank your lucky stars you're only there for 3 months. Obviously you can't leave your clothes in the washer all night and dry it in the morning. That will just cause them to smell, which defeats the purpose of washing them. You pay for the space and have every right to make use of it, as long as you're not being excessively noisy, which a dryer is not. This is the landlord's problem to get over. There are certainly ways you could run a dryer during the day, but the dryer is 75 feet from his house. If that kind of noise bothers him, God forbid you watch a movie or are having someone over after his bedtime. He needs to add quiet hours to his lease and be specific in what he means. But gosh, you're a good distance from the house and his hearing must be superhuman. Exactly how loud is this dryer? I mean, if it's one of those that has a ridiculously loud buzzer at the end, that can certainly be annoying. If it's just the noise of it spinning and slash or the sound of the vented hot air, maybe it needs to be serviced or something, which is his responsibility. Do you have loud clothes or something, stuff with a lot of rivets or other hard things that clang when they are spinning around? If that's the case, yeah, you probably need to adjust the time you use the dryer. Why does everyone think noise-canceling headphones are a solution for everyone? They're not. Especially because they tend to be bulky, which a lot of people can't sleep with, which seems to be the issue here. I don't understand why you can't just do laundry on the weekends. I can't understand why he'd lie to get his way. This whole debacle just seems like 2 stubborn people refusing to be inflexible. You're just going to have to put up with each other until you move. You said the renters got great reviews, so you at least have to consider you may be the problem. Can't you wash your clothes on weekday A and dry them the next day? That way you're never running the dryer between 9:30 or 10. Or run the washing machine in the mornings, turn it on just before you leave. When you get back, you can put your clothes in the dryer. Problem solved. And, noise-canceling headphones on your head while trying to sleep. That's not really comfortable, is it? Not, but try to work with him. Like you said, it's temporary.